경기장 도시형.
All right, so here we go, guys. In the bottom left-hand corner, bottom right-hand corner of Tal'Dorei, we have Empire.Beastyqt. He has won 3 games in a row from his opponent's team. That is Prime. Their representative is our blue Protoss player in the top right-hand corner of Tal'Dorei. That is Creator.
Yep, that's right.
I like the good game / good luck.
Yeah, good game / good luck. It's like good game or good luck. One of the two. One of the two. Yep, but that is indeed Creator.Prime. We used to kind of jokingly call him Krytos because the, like Wolf and us and the guys that created, just because when he won his first Code A match, he like burst into tears of joy. So it was, we're just teasing and stuff like that. But
that's so cute.
But yeah, we called him that because, MC's the Kratos Protoss. And
yeah.
He's the Krytos Protoss. But anyway, that aside, I really love Creator.Prime as a player. He's awesome. He's so good. I hope he doesn't make me look dumb by playing bad in this game. But honestly, he's like got more talent than like 99% of the other Protoss out there.
All right. Well, we'll see what he's able to offer now and what kind of player he's going to be. He's picked a nice large macro map, and we'll see what he has in store for his opponent now, because Beastyqt has just been looking so good against Protoss and Zerg, as a matter of fact. Of course, we haven't seen a Terran quite yet from Prime, but he's just looked very solid. He's been on top of his decision-making. He's had very creative, fun compositions in his units as well. He's known when his opponents are exactly going to attack and been able to hold off just super well. He's really been impressing me.
Yeah, I would say so too. I mean, if he keeps playing like this, he could all-kill for Empire. That would be huge if he was able to do that against Prime.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to have a bit of a tough time in Creator.Prime. I mean, in the other PVTs that we've seen, the Protoss players that have played against him have all made mistakes in sort of positioning and things like that. And I don't know if Creator.Prime is going to fall to those same problems. Ironically, early on in his career, Creator.Prime had a huge problem with making mistakes in combat and kind of getting his units out of position and things like that. But he's really cleaned it up since then. So if he loses this game, I think that's how it's going to be, but he's much better at it than he used to be.
Okay, well, we'll see how he reacts to his opponent's very fast expansion. Knows from the time that there's a barracks up and no gas, so he decides to run on back home. Very smart decision out of him. Now, his opponent's already sitting on that orbital command with a pretty good economy right now. Is going to get even better with that second command center. We'll see how Creator wants to react to that, if he's going to punish it or just trying to match his opponent's tit for tat and throw up an expansion of his own.
Well, if he plays like he normally does, it'll be a very economic style. He loves to go for the double forge players, so I'd be pretty surprised if we didn't see something like that here. But if he feels like he's in any danger, he might want to throw a gateway or two down. But with that that sort of opening, I don't think he's going to need to worry about any sort of really early push from Beastyqt.
All right, we'll see what Beastyqt's up to now, as he has 3 barracks down. No gas quite yet, and don't know if he's not going to add a 4th, just going to add a bunker. So it's going to be 3 racks, possibly into some gas here in just a second, and just continued macro and economy for the time being. Oh, a little poke, though, with a Stalker and a Zealot. There's not a lot out for Beastyqt to defend against this.
Yeah, if you don't get that barracks up soon enough, you'll take a lot of damage from this, and Beastyqt is learning that the hard way right now.
Yes, he is, as a matter of fact, pulling a couple of units off the line right now. See if he goes after this SCV that's actually constructing the bunker, and he does. Zealot chasing down these Marines at the moment. It looks like a couple may actually go down. Yeah, more have fallen. That Zealot had 3 or 4 kills before it actually went down. More Stalkers making their way off, and now Beastyqt is pulling so many SCVs to deal with this. This may not kill him right here, and probably won't, but it's going to set him back so far economically.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly something to worry about. It's, oh, wow, he's moving the Marine out, too. Tell me he has another one in the bunker, please. He doesn't. Why is there not a Marine in that bunker? Okay, there's 2 coming up right now.
Yes.
I think Creator.Prime is just kind of assuming that there's one in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bit dangerous. He might have lost another SCV or 2, but yeah, nice little poke from Creator.Prime, taking advantage of the fact that when your opponent goes for that gasless expand, they're not going to have a lot of defenses if they don't get their bunker down soon enough.
Well, here's my theory. Beastyqt has been playing so clean and so well against Prime so far. I think this is just his way of handicapping his opponent. And he's saying, okay, I'm going to give you a little lost mining time. I'm going to give you a few Marines.
That's nice of him.
Yes, very nice, especially because Creator's likely to take that advantage and run with it. So.
Oh, yeah. So 2 more gateways and a robo going down as we see Creator.Prime start to push in a little bit more. Just kind of being annoying there. He's taking a little bit of damage on the Stalkers, a little bit too much in my opinion. Oh, and he's actually in trouble.
Yeah, he's got to get out of there, but he will keep his Stalkers alive. He did pick off yet another SCV, though, so not a bad little win for him. He's actually killed 5 workers this whole game, which has basically completely negated the advantage of that super early expansion out of BCQT.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, going up to 4 early gas as well. I mean, this is definitely what you want to do if you want to throw down 2 forges and get those upgrades really, really rolling. You can see he's producing the Observer first just to get in there and see if he needs to worry about any sort of early follow-up push or something like that.
All right. Well, we'll see if BCQT is able to put on some pressure. It looks like he's more worried about his third command center right now.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Yes.
So I like that. He probably has a pretty good idea of who he's playing against. He knows that he probably won't be any sort of early mid-game pressure. So, yeah, why not take a fast third command center? Yeah. And there's the 2 forges. So, yeah, you can't really get too aggressive when you're going for that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Not bad.
And now this Observer, however, is going to get in here, and it's going to pick up on the time that this command center is being constructed. And indeed, he does see that. So we'll see how Creator.Prime reacts. He's starting to go after the destructible rocks over at the 12 o'clock position. So he'll get his third down soon enough as well.
Yep. Now I'm wondering if we're going to see BCQT throw down a second engineering bay here. He's got one already building, but he doesn't have any other ones out on the map. No, so he's not going for really, really fast upgrades like his opponent is. So that's going to give Creator.Prime a nice little boost to his army a little bit later in the game when the armies finally do meet.
And let's see if he continues to chrono boost out these upgrades here in a second, because he can get very far ahead very quickly if he wants to. Looks like he does have a Twilight Council coming down, so he'll be prepared, of course, whenever those upgrades finish up, so he can move directly into 2-2. He's still, of course, sitting on just 3 gates and a robo, but he's investing so much into infrastructure right now that his units are going to be incredibly powerful in a bit.
Adding that 3rd Nexus on as well, so yeah, kind of doing the typical double forge style, but he was actually one of the first Protoss in Korea to really start heavily using that style against Terran. That was actually a style, though, that popped up earlier in North America from the games that I saw then in Korea, which is kind of interesting. I remember back when players like In Control actually were doing that style quite a bit.
Yes, and yeah, I mean, this is very fun, though. I mean, again, we're setting ourselves up for a pretty long game. We've not had any cheap games so far, guys. These have all been very macro-heavy, not 50-minute games, but fun at that. And looks like we're set up for another one as we have a Ghost Academy and Armory, a second engineering bay on the way. In addition, his opponent Creator is putting up a robotics bay and finishing up 1-1 along with Blink here very soon.
Yep, just doing a little 1-1 timing poke, making sure that he's got control of his side of the map. And let's see here, as looks like BCQT finally going to set down his own 3rd base. And, you know, he has been able to use that as a macro CC for a while, produce a couple extra SCVs and mules out of that. But his opponent's still ahead on workers. Nice snipe there of the Observer. And has established his own 3rd Nexus before the 3rd for BCQT was sat down, despite the fact it was started a lot earlier. So Creator.Prime really just hasn't lost that much of an advantage in his economy. Yeah, I mean, the way he plays is very simple. You know, he just kind of sits back and says, all right, I think I could out-macro you and out-upgrade you in most cases. And this is a pretty strong push coming up for BCQT. Now, when he gets there, though, if he decides to follow through with it, he'll have that to contend with, and probably 1 Colossus as well. Oh, but Creator.Prime moving out to meet him. Doesn't want to engage him on the ramp like that. Ooh. And if he can force field off some units, oh, Beastie with the stim to get away.
Yeah, I think he knew that there was a threat when he got caught behind that ramp.
Yeah, that was a close one there for our Terran player.
And BCQT runs back home. He's got a few medevacs here. Of course, it's going to use almost all of the energy to go ahead and get that done. But let's see here now. Creator.Prime on 3 bases. 15-minute no rush once again in effect, guys. Apologize for implementing that rule during the set. But we do have Charge, Thermal Lance, and 2-2 on the way now for Creator.
Yeah. I suppose I could criticize Creator a little bit in that. I feel like you should do something in the game. I mean, he is moving forward and kind of making aggressive moves, but he isn't really doing any sort of aggressive pokes, no sort of harassment or anything. He's just kind of watching his opponent and trying to just be prepared for whenever they do max out and the armies do meet.
And both players are on 3 bases at the moment. But, of course, BCQT is moving up, and he's going to hit 1-1 in just a few seconds with a fair number of ghosts as well. 2 on the field and 2 at a time coming out of his barracks. So He is going to have a nice, powerful push of his own, but of course, his opponent's just about to finish up 2-2 thermal lands and charge, all at about the same time.
That's a pretty scary army right now, and I mean, we'll probably see him add some more zealots on in a moment here. That'll kind of round out the forces. A little bit of a scan from BCQT, and he's like, yeah, I'd rather not attack into that right now. And I can't blame him, man. That would be pretty tough to handle right now. He does have some EMPs, but just not a big enough army to handle something like that. No Vikings. Nothing yet, so good move to just decide to go home. No
fourth base started out of either of our players yet. The supply for creators at 166 out of 200 now, and that's pretty considerably high at 14 minutes and 30 seconds, especially considering that he's already starting and chrono boosting 3-3 at the moment.
Yep, that's right. And really, BCQT not that far behind. I mean, he is getting +2 weapons, so he will have that probably by the time there's any sort of engagement. Although if Creator does decide to go through with this, might not quite happen. But the upgrades could be worse. He does have good tech. He has a good amount of ghosts out there, so he's got a good chance of taking out this army if he controls well.
Do the default responses from units just not crack you up, though?
What do you mean?
We just clicked on Creator's vision there. He attacked one Marine at the Zelnaga Tower, and his zealots were screaming, with the entire army in tow, fall back to the shadows.
Yeah, man, it's dangerous. One Marine. They have stim, I've heard. That's scary.
It's pretty good. Imbalance from what some people have said. Let's see here. Marine checking out things over at the third. Going to try and get in there and says, nope, I'm out of here. Bye-bye, guys. And runs away, unfortunately, directly into a group of Archons. Bye-bye. Fourth base coming up for Creator now. We have a fourth command center finishing for BCQT, and 16 minutes have gone by. Nary a unit has been killed, but 3-3 going to finish up now for Creator, so this is his standard 3-3 push off of no harassment taken.
Yeah, pretty much taking his fourth as well. It's tough for Terran because it's like, well, how do I fight this? You know, I mean, what do I do? I feel like BCQT could be dropping a little bit more. This can be a pretty good map for drop. Sure. He knows his opponent probably has Blink by now, but you know, you got to do something. If you just let Protoss just sit back and macro up like that, you've got a really strong army to deal with in the late game.
And both opponents are maxed now. There's a few more units that are just about to pop out for BCQT, but he's going to be really far behind on upgrades. He's going to be on 1-2, and his opponent's on 3-3 with a shields upgrade coming up. And it looks like Creator wants to push in. And a couple of nice EMPs hit, but there's still one sentry there that has a couple of force shields at its disposal. And these units are just crushing through the front run of BCQT's forces. More EMPs hitting at the back. The Colossi did die very quickly, as a matter of fact, but Creator looks like he has enough to just continue pushing through his opponent.
Yeah, the lucky thing there was that the Zealots ran right out from under those EMPs before they hit. They got to the bio units and were able to do a lot of damage. The Colossi did go down fast, as you mentioned here, but now he's just got all these heavily upgraded Protoss units to deal with.
Right.
Just look at how fast those Zealots tear through everything. GG.
GG.
That's
and so
what
there
happens.
we have it, guys. Prime is actually taking their first game here, and I apologize a little bit for that volume. Of course, that was
my ears.
There we go. But, yeah, Prime takes a game back now, so it's 3-1